Hi, everyone. I am so happy that you're here. My name is Sarah Marie Paul, and I am a gold brand partner with Young Living. I invited my girl, Sarah Penatzer, to be here tonight with me because she is one of my hype girls. Like, she really is. Um, I'm dating myself, but like Flavor Flav. Anybody? Can I get at least like a something? Like, anybody know Flavor Flav? Yeah, I see Melissa. I see you laughing over there. Okay. Denise, you know Flavor Flav. And some of you are like, ew. All right, I'm dating myself. But you are like my Flavor Flav, you
I
know?
love it.
You are
I love it.
one of those to me. I mean, you are definitely always just there, like hyping me up. I feel like I can
Aw,
be the same for you too at times,
you are
right?
for sure,
And
for
I
sure.
love that. And the energy that you bring is just so pure. It's so genuine. It's so authentic. You
Thank
always
you.
rise to the occasion. And I just feel so blessed that we met when we were in Hawaii. So
Meant to
I'll
be.
let you talk about that a little bit too. But we met, how long ago was that?
2?
2 years ago, right?
Yeah, I think
Okay.
so. I
Yeah.
think.
Yep. Yes. 2019. We met in
Yeah.
2019. Um, when we both were recipients of the Dream 1000 trip to Hawaii,
Mhm.
and we were both there, and we met at like the last day,
The
right?
at walking to the luau.
Last moment,
Yeah.
last day possible, and it was just perfection. And I remember asking where you were from, and you telling me that you were from Pennsylvania, and I'm like,
Mhm.
oh my gosh, me too. And we just started talking and having all those Me Too moments, and we've
Yes,
stayed in touch ever since.
for sure.
So
Yeah.
I invited you here. We do these Monday night calls that are every single Monday night at 8 p.m. They are open to all of Young Living. So I always post them ahead of time. They're all different topics. I team up with a bunch of other leaders. Katie Smith is in here too. Hey, Katie. I team up with Sarah Miller Stutzman, and we all are inviting someone who is a brand partner who we truly admire. So that's why I invited you this evening.
Thank
So
you.
I'm really looking forward to you sharing
Yeah,
all,
I'm excited.
all the things and helping to get us hype.
I'm so excited.
Yeah. So would you just introduce yourself a little bit?
Sure. Okay. So, well, thank you for having me so much. I'm so like just jazzed to be here because this is my thing. I love just hyping people up. Like it brings me so much joy. So thank you so much. I'm honored to be here and can't wait to do some more of these with some of you. Um, so I'm Sarah. My biggest flex right now is that I'm a mom to a 3-year-old crazy little boy. Um, but I'm also married to a pretty incredible guy. And we are in the waiting stages of our adoption process right now. So that is kind of where our crazy little life is taking us. When we're not, doing the oily thing, and he works for my dad with an antique car business. We love to like camp, and we're in the beginning stages of becoming little homesteaders and just trying to navigate life. So that's pretty much my story right now. Like Sarah said, we met in Hawaii. So, and I was thinking that was in 2020, right before the world shut down.
It was, right?
Yeah.
Okay. It seems like
January,
a whole
like,
life. It seems like,
yeah,
no, it was. Yeah.
yeah,
Okay. Yes.
yeah.
Because it seems
Which,
like it was forever ago, like
yeah,
literally a lifetime ago, because
yeah.
everything did
It was
change
right
shortly thereafter.
before. Yep, right before. That was in January. So, but like she said, feels like it was forever ago. But that kind of ties in perfectly because it's been a rough, what, year and a half for everyone. Um, I am also a gold leader and I'm an enneagram 8. Um, it will show if you talk to me for a little bit, but I just spread it with love. I spread it with love. I have really big goals for this biz and I want to go all the way to the top. I've been doing this for almost 5 years, still totally obsessed with it. Keeps getting better, doesn't it? Truly, like I just feel as you learn more and you grow your team and just start doing all the things, it does get better every day, truly. Um, but I will say some of the days it isn't all that fun. Some days you wonder, what the heck am I doing? And some days you're super frustrated, you're super discouraged. So I'm going to talk to you about some of that. I'm going to talk about the real life that we somehow seem to forget about when we get onto social media and start playing the comparing game. We forget that everybody has a real life. And everyone also has these struggles and this discouragement. They feel that too. I promise you. You may not see it, but I promise you that they do. I'm going to give you some hype with some tough love. And most importantly, I'm going to give you some grace. Because for whatever reason, lately, we just forget to give ourselves grace. Forget to give ourselves grace. um, and we got to stop that. Like, we have to start remembering why we're doing this. So I'm just going to dive right into it here. That was my little
No,
intro.
thank you.
Just
And I think
dive.
all of that is so important. All of
Yeah.
that is so true. I know that for me, there are so many times that I have to put my blinders on and I just have to remember like my why. It has to go back to my why. It has to go back to who I am.
Yes.
It has to go back to helping people, truly
Hmm.
caring for people, right? And loving
Yes.
on them and wanting what's best for them. Um, and you have to give yourself grace. You have to, but
So
it's nice to have
much.
those reminders too.
Yeah. You have to. And it's so easy to not, though. Like, it's easy to just be like, well, I'm just going to throw that whole day away because I did this wrong. I did this wrong. I didn't do this. We need to sit back and remember that we're only one person.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of the time, a lot of our problem when it comes to this business is we spend a lot of time waiting for Young Living to drop a special, waiting for your upline to help you, waiting for your downline to just sell more kits already, waiting for your life to slow down. How about waiting for that nap time that is so precious? Waiting for new convention products. Oh, well, next week when life slows down, I'll be able to do that. We need to stop waiting and we need to just show up and be our own hype squad. We need to just do it already because you're spending all this time waiting, let's just say for the ball to drop, and the ball is never going to drop. And all that time you spent waiting, think of what you could have been doing. The past 2 months have been rough for my team, and a lot of them are here, and we've talked about this openly. So it's not like I'm like spreading some rumor here. But I met with my silver leaders last week, and I started our meeting by saying, dude, our numbers suck. And everyone agreed. I said, what are we waiting for? What are we going to do? And no one, including myself, had an answer. If crashing isn't the perfect time to regain focus and power through, when is? What better time to hustle than when it's needed so desperately? Why do we find ourselves working the business and doing all the things and running like a royal crown diamond when it's easy? We can't just show up when the getting is good. You know that quote out there? It's like, start envisioning yourself as as your best self, then start showing up for her every day. I'm pretty sure that's how it goes. Do that. I said to my team, I said, ladies, we took our eyes off the road. We set that cruise control, put our feet up on the dash, and we got real comfy for the rest of the ride. And, we all giggled and laughed. But then we were like, yeah. And then we almost went into a head on collision, like we got comfy. We took our eye off the prize. So what do? Like I said, the longer we sit around and just complain, it's great to have that complaint session with your girls, right? You get all that anger out, you get the frustration out, you vent, but you can't stay down there. If you have one of those vent sessions with your bestie doing this business with you, you better bring it back up. Have that. Get it all out. It's not good to hold on to that. It's good to talk about it. And some great brainstorming can come off of those, what were meant to be complaining sessions. But you gotta bring the hype. You have to be the hype. If not for yourself, for who? So quit sitting around. Quit wondering why in the world you got comfy again and start showing up. Set some goals, big and small. Okay. If you want to put on the top of the list, hit Royal Crown Diamond, why the heck not? Speak life into that. Put that at the top of your list. But you need to be realistic and understand that that may not happen next week. But put some goals on there that can happen next week. Put some goals on there that you can do today. One of my friends actually just posted in her stories last week a reverse to-do list. So instead of at the beginning of the day, you get your to-do list ready, right? And I'm all for scratching those things off. All for it. But when you don't get them done, sometimes you can really be hard on yourself, right? So the reverse to-do list is at the end of the day, you sit down and you write the things that you accomplished. And I just think that is such a good way to maybe start looking at our business. Make that to-do list, of course. I mean, we have to. But maybe instead of every single day being like, "Oh, I didn't get this done. I didn't get this done. I didn't get this done," you can sit and say, "Wow, I sold a kit today. Great." Or, "Wow, I helped that one girl figure out what's going to work best for her family." We got to start even taking the baby steps as huge accomplishments. Um, Time management, so important, right? And so impossible at the same exact time. So I know I have found for myself when I have specific time set aside to work on my business, I get stuff done. In the winter, that's easy, right? There's nothing really going on, cooped up inside. I live in Pennsylvania, guys. I don't know where everyone else is from. I know Sarah mentioned that. So winter, like, it's not like it is right now where I can spend all day outside. Well, nice weather came, and I said the past 2 months have been a little bit hard, and I look back on what I've been doing. In the winter, every Tuesday night starting at 5 o'clock, I go to my office and I work probably until about 10:30. And it helps so much because I know that's my oily time. I will save things that can wait to do during that time. It helps so much with screen time for me because I know, oh, well, I'm going down to the office. I can be on my phone later. With my family, I know things are just spaced out. If you can, set aside that time. Even if it's 15 minutes a day, try and put a block in your day that is oily time. Nothing else gets done. Another big thing that I think we need to do if we're kind of feeling in this funk is being a product of the product, right? Are you carrying Thieves hand sanitizer with you? Do people see when you have friends over, if you're having friends over, is your diffuser going? Are you using your products? Because here's not even business side related, but if you're using your products, you're feeling good, aren't you? You're happier. You have more energy. You probably feel a little more motivated. That's going to reflect into your business. Consistency. We all know that that's super important. I won't get too much into that. But setting that time aside, the time management also helps with the consistency. And this last part of this that I'm going to say actually came from a little brainstorm that I had with Sarah last week. Go back to the basics. How did you sell your first 5 kits? How did you sell your last 5 kits? How did you grow? What were you doing? Were you talking to people? Were you having little parties? Were you going to people's houses? How were you posting? What did your social media look like? What changed? Did anything really change? Maybe you changed, but did the outside really change? I think that's another thing we've been leaning into. We lean into the waiting a lot, but I think sometimes we also like to lean into and maybe use as an excuse a little bit. Oh, well, things are different now. So much has changed. But has it? And this is coming from Sarah. Sarah said this the other day, and I'm like, oh my gosh, she's on to something. Like she is, and I have not been able to stop thinking about it.
I just got goosebumps everywhere. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but that conversation
No.
that we had, because we were both, we were both feeling similarly,
Mhm.
so what Sarah and I know a lot of your team is here and a lot of, our team is here too. So it's like, we're all team YL, but we're seeing the same exact things that you guys are seeing. So it goes back to, okay, well, what am I doing? Right? What am I doing? What am I doing completely differently? Am I doing anything? Am I
Yeah.
sitting? Am I looking at all these other people who seem like it's going so well and they're just living their life and people are coming to them effortlessly
Yeah.
and buying, joining, becoming a brand partner? Like, it seems that way,
For sure.
but there may be some of you here who are watching you, Sarah, or who have been watching me thinking that.
Mhm.
And we're saying, no, that's not what's happening. And
Yeah.
you never know also what's happening behind the scenes. But I think bringing it back to those basics, like, what are people looking for? Right?
Yeah.
What are they looking for?
Totally. Totally. What do they
Looking,
want?
yeah, they have a problem, right? Like, they have a
Mhm.
problem, something is happening, and it takes you to have that relationship so that they know you, like you, trust you,
Mhm.
right?
Yep,
In
for
order
sure.
to listen, or in order to confide in you, that you
Yep.
can then offer a solution in a very authentic way.
Yeah.
And
That's all they
it,
want.
yeah, and it is a time, it's a process, because it's planting
Mhm.
seeds, planting seeds, planting seeds. I just had a girl message me 2 days ago, seemingly out of the blue. She wasn't out of the blue. She's been on my list for what, 4 years, literally. And I just was like, oh, whatever. Like, she never messaged me back. She
Yeah.
randomly like responds to my stuff. I'm just gonna give her some space. And she finally messaged because I kept kind of in touch. I wasn't,
Mhm.
it was maybe like a very bi-monthly, tri-monthly type of a thing.
Yeah.
And now is her time.
Yeah.
I was consistent.
For
So she
sure.
knew I still did the thing. That's a whole other thing too. Like, I know you said that you were going to touch on it a little bit, but that
Mhm.
is huge. I've had so many people come to me and just say, I want to get oils from you because I know this is something that you take seriously.
Yep.
I know it's something you actually do.
And how do they know that?
Yes,
The only reason they know that is because you show up.
because
Yep.
you show up, even when you don't want to sometimes.
I love when people come to me and they're like, I just love watching your stories. And it's been like years. Like they've been on my list for years. And I'm like, what took you so long? Like, come on.
But you
So
never know where someone else is, and people are
exactly.
busy. We're all busy. Like, all
Yeah.
of you, took an hour of your time, and we're so grateful for that, which is why I'm going to let Sarah keep talking. But I had to like intervene because all of us are busy. We're all busy. I share stories all the time about, other women sharing products because I love to shop from other people's stores. I love all those things. But I will tell someone straight up, I've had lots of people do this, where they have approached me. It was something I did want, but I told them
Mhm.
specifically, like, if you don't hear back from me, you need to message me by Friday. Remind me that I wanted this thing. Make it as
Yeah.
easy and painless and time free as possible, or else I'm not going to get the thing. You have to
Yep.
remind me, and you have to, like, that's my personality type.
Yeah.
I'm an Enneagram 3 wing too. So I am very much like, just give it to me. Like, and if
Yeah.
you don't, then I'm gonna just go off to the next thing because I'm charging
Exactly.
full speed ahead. So
Exactly.
thank you, Sarah. Keep going.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. All right. And then the last thing, I don't even remember like what the point. I think we're in like, what should we do if we're feeling in this funk? This is our hype. This is our hype. So we're setting some goals. We're working on time management. We're being a product of a product and we're loving, knowing, and sharing those products. We're being consistent because we could do a whole entire Zoom on consistency. We're going back to the basics and we are going to stop comparing. You're going to stop comparing yourself to that amazing Royal Crown Diamond whose stories you love and she just sold 30 kits yesterday. You're going to stop comparing yourself to the Instagram famous chick down the road who just got started and is already a silver. You're just going to stop comparing, right? Because they don't have your life. You don't have their life and you have no idea what is going on behind the scenes. We all get the same 24 hours in the day, but we all have life, right? We all have different things. My 24 hours is going to look super different from your 24 hours. But what we do with that 24 hours is what matters. So this ties perfectly into this. Life gets in the way. There's going to be high and lows. Last week, I had to cancel this Zoom because we had a little bit of a massacre in my chicken coop. So life happens. Everyone's okay. Well, we lost 3, but everyone's okay. Everyone's good. They started laying eggs this week, so it's all good. But life happens. I was upset that we had to cancel, brushed it off. And you know what? Sarah's like, girl, it's no biggie. We're going to reschedule for next week and it's going to be fine. And I'm like, she's right. We have to pick our battles, right? And what we hold on to. What really discourages you. I totally could have let that just ruin everything and be like, nope, I don't even want to do it anymore. But no, you show up. Why? Because this matters. This matters to me. This business, oh gosh, it's in the top like 5 things of means everything to me, right? So you show up for it. Did you ever notice that there are things that you easily get done every day without even thinking about it? Coffee, check, right? You don't go a day without that, or your morning tea, whatever it may be. Check your phone. It's real easy to get in the habit of just rolling over in the morning, shutting off your alarm, and picking up your phone and start scrolling, right? We make sure that happens. What about the binging on Netflix? We make sure that happens. Scrolling social media, that has to happen, right? Move your biz into your top priorities and make it one of those things that happens every day and watch what happens. 15 minutes a day can make your dreams happen. You have to make room for your dreams, for your goals, for yourself, for your priorities. No one else in your life could do that for you. You may have a wonderful spouse and wonderful children, a wonderful support system. But if you don't want that dream, if you don't want to take the time for it, it's not going to happen. No one can do that for you. So I'm kind of going to wrap this up with these 3 things here. So the first thing, and here's where the hype comes in. Those other things were all the hard truths. Now I'll lighten it up and give you some hype. The first big thing is you have to allow yourself to get excited. You have to allow yourself to dream about it, visualize it. I want you all to take a second here and think of what your tippy top goals are with this business. Now visualize that they've already happened. What are you doing right now? It's the 5th of July, which is just the 4th of July weekend. Are you still on vacation? Did you just go to some beach or summer home? Because you're a Royal Crown Diamond right now. What did you do? What did you do with your family? What does life look like now? Is there anything that you were worried about in this life? Come back to real life for a second. Step outside of dream world. What are you worried about right now? If you're visualizing yourself as that Royal Crown Diamond or whatever your goal may be, is that problem kind of not so big anymore? Don't be afraid when you're discouraged in working this biz to sit down and dream. Take a journal and write it out. This is what I want to be. Say it out loud. Speak life into it. Pray over it. Put your dreams somewhere where you can see them. So I actually just got a Post-it note and it's on my mirror, right over there. I can see it. And it says Platinum Leader. And then it has arrows. And then it says Sarah Penatzer. And I see that every day when I get up, because that's my goal right now. Guys, don't be afraid of your dreams. The next thing, be your own dang hype squad, because let me tell you, it sucks waiting around for someone else to do it. Now, don't get me wrong, I have a great hype squad. They're my babes. But not everyone is that lucky. And it can be hard. But I need you to know that you are fully capable of being your own hype squad. You are the only one that truly knows and understands and feels your dreams. You know what fuels them. You know the desires behind them. You have to be the one that makes sure it is all worth it. Your dreams are yours. Don't let anyone take them from you. And then the last one, give yourself grace. You are human. And perfection is not a requirement for this business. Showing up and being yourself is. And that's my little spiel for tonight.
I was taking notes for everyone in the in the comments. Thank you so much for that inspiration. Let's open up the floor to questions, like real questions for Sarah and myself. If you want to ask us anything, you can ask it now. We're only going to open it up for a little bit. So if you want a question, because we value your time,
let them rip.
Monday night, so this was fantastic. But if you have any questions, big, small, anything,
for sure,
ask away.
Here for it.
So we have a question. What do you do to work on your business? Are you talking about just like daily, like what we do in our daily time? Is that the question? I think.
Yes.
Okay. So what do you, Sarah, so you say like if you have those 15 minutes, right, that you find a pocket of 15 minutes,
sure,
what you say is the most important thing? Let's just go with like, what's the most important thing that you think if
talk
you have
to
to choose
someone?
one? Yeah.
Talk to someone.
I say the same exact thing. I tell everyone that every time. Speak to people.
Yeah.
To them.
You're not going to sell oils to your computer.
Mm-hmm.
It's the person on the other end. So if you only have 15 minutes every day, I would spend those 15 minutes every day talking to one new person every day.
Yeah. And I think that that's the most important thing too. And you can also, you can also speak to existing people, build relationships with, friends. I want to say family, but maybe not. You know what I mean? Like build those relationships, speak to someone new, even when you're out and about. Like the majority of people are out and about now doing the things. Think about how you got started. And even if you don't have an upline to help you, I know when I started, my upline was kind of new. So I can empathize with that. And I just figured it out. Like I just sat and I would come to a problem. I would ask. The Grow group is amazing that you can plug into. There's tons of resources in there. And you can definitely plug into existing resources, ask questions. But the most important thing, like Sarah said, if you have that limited time or if you find yourself with a crack of time, I keep personally, like with my downline, I print it out on the 1st of every month. So I have it paper copy and I go through, and when I talk to someone, I highlight them just so that I know that I've spoken to someone. Like I don't take extensive notes because I don't, but I know that I talk to the people. Do you know what I mean? I talk to the people and I have a list going of people who are my wish list of people who I would love to be doing this with me as well.
For sure.
I would recommend having a list of people too. And Melissa said that she didn't have an upline for a few years either. She found groups that were open to crossline, connected as much as possible. Yes, there are people crossline who will run with you. Sarah and I are not on the same team. We connected, at a YL event, but we liked each other and we decided that, hey, are you open to being my friend basically. Like, and we just have gone from there.
Yeah.
Another question for someone who transferred into a different organization, any advice to help you get started off to a new start? I would think that it's just the same thing. Like Sarah had said, using your products, right? Being a product of the product,
Yeah. Just start back at the beginning.
and talking to people,
Yeah.
which sounds really basic and simple. And then also asking people for, I don't know, like what I did in the beginning a lot, I asked for referrals. That's something that my husband taught me, because he's been in business for a long time. And he said, "Why aren't you asking for referrals?" I'm like, "Oh, I don't know. That's kind of weird." He's like, "No, it's not." He said, if you come across someone who, like in the beginning, I would just ask my friends who I knew liked people and liked having events at their home if I could come and teach at their home. And I would just do something fun, and people would come and they would have fun. And then I would ask them if they had fun, and they said yes. I would say, "Would you like to buy something?" Like, it was a very basic thing. And then if people weren't necessarily interested in that, I would say, "Well, when you come across someone who's looking for a lifestyle change, when you come across someone who is looking for a healthy start, point them in my direction, and I would gladly give you some sort of a referral, a little referral gift." And I've gotten a lot of people that way too. What are your thoughts on that, Sarah?
For sure. And you just gotta, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. No one is going to know that you're afraid except for yourself, or that you're nervous about it. So just put yourself out there and do the things. They're going to see your confidence and your excitement before they see, oh, I bet she was nervous to talk about that. So just put yourself out there.
Yeah. And someone else said
Sarah, can I jump
yeah,
in
yeah,
here? So right now, asking about like getting started again and jumping back in the Grow group, Erin Rogers posted a really good resource. It's a downloadable packet that you can get at her on her online store, oilsupply.com, I think is it. And it's just you print it out and then you hole punch it and put it in a binder. And it's called Back in the Biz. And I'm doing a crossline group right now. If anybody wants to jump in that, it's basically like a 30-day thing that you're going through to relaunch your business. It's like right now we're on day 5 because we just started July 1st, and it's walking us through like your why. It's helping you. Let's see, what else do we do? Like, all kinds of stuff that, like, if you're doing the business for a little while and then you kind of like you let things slide and then you forget your why, and your why changes and you don't realize it. But it also, like today, it had me listing out like figuring out your target market. So that's really super helpful when you go to like write out posts, and it helps you to actually write it out because you're like, okay, this is who I'm talking to. Like I never thought about that before doing this program. I never really considered that, but I'm like, okay, no, I'm talking to this specific person because that's my target market. So my posts, I think, sound a little bit different. So if anybody wants added into that group, friend me on Facebook, and I can let me know, and I can get you added into that group. And it's just a bunch of crossline people just doing the little program thing together. Yeah. And anybody's welcome to join.
Thank you for that, Katie. And thank you, Melissa, for sharing the link. So Melissa shared the link for that resource. And Katie, would you mind sharing the link for that group, like in this event? Can you just go in, and I don't know if
Yep.
Is that okay?
Yep.
Can you do that way if anybody can then friend request you, because you'll comment on that as well. That would be really helpful.
Yep.
Thank you.
I can do that, I think.
And then that goes a lot with this last question, which is, I'm trying to post something daily. Today was the einkorn flakes, and I got responses on it. I think that that's great, being consistent. And if daily is something that you can keep up with, I think that's wonderful. If it feels like too much and it doesn't feel authentic, then you can, go inside and see what feels good. But I think that, like Katie said, that target market, that people want to see you as well. So whatever you're willing to share about you and your life, and not just Young Living products too. I think that's so important. What are your thoughts on that, Sarah?
For sure. I mean, and that's the beauty of this business too. If you're doing something and you don't like it, or you don't think it's going well, or it doesn't sit right in your heart, change it.
Mhm.
Change it. That's the beauty of all this, is you have the freedom to decide whatever you want to do. I always say that if you're going to start sharing about the products and stuff, base things off of the kits. Because then when they come to you and ask about this product, you're going to be able to tell them more, and you're going to be able to throw in there, this actually comes in a kit that comes with XYZ as well. And it's such a great bundle. And it's just such an easy way to get them started. I just love the bundles. I'll always rave about them. So they're just the best to me. So, but I always say that. So start sharing with the things you love as well, so people can hear your heart through your message.
Yeah, that's great. No, thank you for sharing that. I totally agree with that too. Did anyone have any other questions before we bid you adieu for tonight? And Katie put the group in the comments, but you'll just have to friend request her on Facebook, so that you can be added if that's something that you're interested in as well.
Perfect.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Thank you, Sarah. I really
Yes.
appreciate it. I will make sure to have this recording shared with you so that you can share it in your group as well. And feel free to reach out if anyone has any questions after this too. So just thank you. I really appreciate you.
Thank you, everyone.
Have a good night.
Bye.